Hey everybody, this is Brett from Moonstream. Just thought I'd do another video here and talk about the halving and where things are likely to go from here. A quick look at the DXY chart here, showing that we pushed up to this 106 level. It's been kind of an interesting level, and I think it's going to probably go sideways and start to drift down, along with Bitcoin going higher, but probably not until May. We'll talk about that here in a minute. If it does push higher here, if we've got a strengthening dollar, I think it would probably come out to around this 107 level at the most, and then we'd see the rally sort of resume. But I don't know that that's going to happen. Looks like it's going to slowly roll over, and as it goes down in this area, I have it labeled Bitcoin Rally Zone. It does tend to move in these trend channels, so that's interesting to keep on your radar. Also, taking a look at Bitcoin on the monthly time frame, we had 7 monthly green candles on the way up, so really we need a rest to reset. And so this candle here is perfect here in April if it can close right in this area. Even if it dips back down in the 60K region, again, we'll look at that on a daily basis. A lot of buy support in these buy blocks. You can see it's kind of sandwiched between sell block here in red and the buy blocks down here below. And so let's take a look at the monthly too again one more time, because what we don't want to see, and this is the one thing to be aware of, is to see the monthly candle as a bearish engulfing candle, and then that would be bad. That would signify maybe we come back down to 50K. It would still be on this new upward trajectory of the bull market, sort of phase two. And, I don't think that happens necessarily with ETF money still on the sidelines, and the Hong Kong ETF getting approved. Money is probably starting to filter into that sooner than later, but they may be waiting for a more opportune time to get in. Hard to say, but I'd say we're probably 70-30 that we push higher in May from these current levels, and maybe 60-40, and that 40% would come down to 50K. Either way, it would be dollar cost averaging at these levels. And then in this blue line here, I think we do bounce off these regions and push much higher up to the 100K area. And we can see that as this big giant bull flag here if I turn off these order block indicators that we've created, and or a modified Bollinger Band. By the way, we use a modified Bollinger Band, and using the third standard deviation on crypto, it seems to work much better. And so anyway, just to clean that up a bit, big macro bull flag pushed up from kind of this area here. It's not exact. I just copied this over from there, but started with this obviously as more like this kind of a range. This bull flag here breaking out of it puts us right up to around 100,000, which is some of my other studies I show where we can get there pretty easily, and to 155K this year, and kind of depends. There's possibly a $250,000 Bitcoin next year if we don't have a deflationary bust. I think there's also a case to be made for a double cycle like we saw back in 2012, 13, where maybe we do see a bit of a pullback. This chart's not going to go back far enough. I wasn't planning on showing you that, but if we zoom out into this longer time frame, all the way back in that 2012, 2013 region, we kind of had this peak, and then we had a sell-off. This looked like much, but this was quite a sell-off, about 78% here, and then it ran again here toward the end of 2013. So just for illustrative purposes, though, that was a 90% correction on Bitcoin. And so it's I think we could see that happen. Anything's possible, as we know, in crypto. So I'll have to kind of wait and see. Let me jump back on to show you one more thing here on the IBIT. The IBIT gave us some interesting clues on kind of where price action is headed with Bitcoin. Was watching this from the early get-go here when it was first kind of sold off on the opening, and had this sort of cup and handle pattern, broke out here above that $25 level. You can see in the green arrow, and then it was off to the races. So we've seen some consolidation levels on the IBIT, of course, the Bitcoin spot ETF. So we saw it break out of that one. We have been steadily going lower, though, with lower highs, and we're down below the 21 and 50 period EMAs on the 4-hour chart, and sell blocks here showing up right up in here. So I think we're going to have some continued, we need to put in kind of a base here, and it did kind of break below that support zone. So this is a little bit interesting. I'd like to see it put in a higher low and then build some steam to break back up above that $40 and $42 level. So we'll keep an eye on that as well. Lastly, interesting on the total market cap, 1 hour and 4 hour, we are getting a buy entry signal on our dynamic average true range. Our indicators links are in the description down below if you have interest in these. We just released a new pro pack of indicators that's pretty interesting. But also on the 4-hour trend strength indicator, sort of showing weakness. If that comes down below 80, which it's looking like it is going to do, yeah, we're going to see some sell pressure and possibly come down. So it's kind of hard to predict. I think it's going to be a quiet rest of the month here going into May. And just looking at total market cap here, well, it's interesting. I drew this months ago, and let's see, can't remember exactly, but I haven't looked at it for a while. But drawing it right down to this range, and then pushing up to 3 trillion. We definitely want to keep this on our radar. Remember that 3 trillion, that was the market top, and it wasn't anything Bitcoin did necessarily. Let me turn off our early reversal indicator, although it did also signal that exact top at the $3 trillion mark. I'll just zoom out on the weekly time frame. This early reversal indicator is one of our secret weapons, and but the point is that 3 trillion mark, these big round numbers. We of course saw 2 trillion as an important level, and 1 trillion an important line in the sand. And then of course we get when we broke down below that, down to 775 billion at the market cycle lows. And then, of course, we did have our bullish ERI trigger there as well. That's when we knew to get back in the markets. And when I was telling people to get back in the markets back in January of 2023, really before, even in December of 2022, I was calling that as the bottom. And part of the reason was the signals. So anyway, I think a pullback here. We did come back and retest 2 trillion on the weekly time frame. And so I would expect this pushes higher here, and certainly retesting this by end of May or mid-May possibly. So we'll see what happens there. And should be an interesting couple of weeks here coming up. So I'm happy to answer any questions if you'd like to comment below, and check out some of the other videos in here. I'm going to try to do more of these this year and update you guys, and certainly look for the study I did on the path to $150,000 Bitcoin and potentially $255,000 Bitcoin. Some of the factors there, the 10 factors that could see us push higher faster, each one like a smoldering campfire from the brick scenario. And if any one of those campfires ignites, could ignite all of them like a good old-fashioned California forest fire. So again, Brett with Moonstream, take care, and I'd love to hear feedback and your likes. Please like the video here so we can start doing more of these and spread the word. All right, cheers.